Imagine tens of thousands of years ago, humans living in cave placed flowers on their dead. Why were those flowers a coincidence? Or humanity's oldest secret, if we find the answer? Perhaps we'll discover where being human truly began. If you're ready, we're embarking on a journey into history's darkest moments, straight to the heart of death. The Shanidar Cave in northern Iraq revealed one of the most striking discoveries in human history. In the grave of a Neanderthal who lived 50,000 years ago, clusters of carefully placed flower pollen were found. At first, it might seem like a coincidence, but upon closer study, it became clear that these flowers were deliberately left there. In other words, Stone Age people did not abandon their dead to the mercy of nature. They honored them with flowers. This could be one of the earliest signs of mourning in human history, because a flower was not just a plant. It was a symbol of memory, a gesture of respect, and a farewell. Shanidar was not the only example. In Israel's Qafzeh Cave, burials dating back 90,000 years were discovered. In one, the skeleton of a child was found buried with deer antlers placed carefully beside it. This was not a random act. It was a message. Deer antlers symbolized strength, fertility, or the continuation of life. Even in the Paleolithic era, humans did not see death merely as an end. They gave it meaning, wrapped it in symbols, and turned it into ritual. These rituals bound the community together, creating not only grief, but also unity and cultural identity. An even more astonishing discovery was made in Sungir, Russia. Around 34,000 years ago, two children were buried side by side, covered in thousands of ivory beads. Each bead had taken hours, perhaps days, to carve. And think about it. In a world where survival depended on constant hunting and gathering, people devoted this immense amount of labor to honor their dead. This was not simply mourning. It was a message to the future. Through these burials, communities transmitted their values, beliefs, and identity. Death was not just a loss. It was a powerful tool for cultural memory. But perhaps the most moving discoveries are those of injured or disabled individuals. In Shanidar, the skeleton of a Neanderthal was found who had suffered severe injuries, yet lived for years. He was blind in one eye, crippled in one arm, and could not have survived alone. This means someone cared for him, fed him, and protected him. This may be one of the earliest signs of compassion and empathy in human history. Being human was not only about making stone tools or controlling fire. It was about sharing another's pain, about keeping alive someone who could not survive on their own. All of these findings point to a profound truth. The foundations of humanity were not built solely on hunting, shelter, or technology. They were also built on rituals, beliefs, and remembrance. Flowers, beads, antlers, ornaments. These were not just objects. They carried the collective memory, emotions, and hopes of an entire group. Confronting death was one of the first turning points that separated humans from other species. To deal with death was to give meaning to life. Even today, in the modern world, funerals, memorials, and rituals continue. The journey that began thousands of years ago with flowers and beads is still with us. Perhaps the real question is this: where did humanity begin? Was it with the first stone tool, the first spark of fire, or with the antlers placed beside a child? Maybe the answer is much simpler. Humanity began with remembering the dead and protecting the living. Death was not merely an end that terrified us. It was one of the oldest beginnings that made us human. We see death was not merely an end. Flowers, beads, offering, early humans built life by making sense of death. And here lies the true secret. Death made us human. But one question remains: if they devoted so much effort to the dead, how did they protect the living, the wounded, the sick? Could they survive in that ruthless era? In the next video, we will uncover this incredible secret, hidden deep within history. Don't miss it.